Hi, my name's Jenny Lawson and I'm not wearing pants. I'm here today to talk to you about Series 2 of my ongoing video series, which has no name because I'm not creative enough to come up with one yet, but I will. And today we're going to talk about making money, which is for many people a really uncomfortable subject. Not particularly one for me because I don't usually make a lot of money, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about. But I am going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about it because people always ask me, how do you make enough money on your blog in order to, make that your job? And I guess my answer would be I don't. I think there are people who do, and I think you can do it. However, in my case, because my blog is so irreverent, I don't get the kind of advertisers that people who are less over the top and cursy could get. And that's okay because that's a decision that I've made. For me, what worked was to find advertising or advertisers who were fellow bloggers because I knew that they would always support me. Every different blog has a different style, and so you need to figure out what's going to be your best style to find ads. And in some cases, it may be that you decide that you don't want ads at all, which is totally fine and is going to give you a lot of extra room and is nice. And you can say, I have integrity. I've never taken money from my blog, but I can't say that because I have. Let's see. There are numerous different ways that you can go about this. There are blog ads. I've gone that route myself personally, and it didn't really work very well for me just because most of them have some sort of a clause where you can't really say maybe some things about some things, and you can't talk about whoever the advertiser is in any bad way, and I just don't deal well with being muzzled because if you tell me not to say something, that's the first thing I'm going to say. And also, I didn't think it was really monetarily valuable, honestly. It does change. For example, there are lots of different ad networks. There's Federated Media, there's AdSense, there's Google Ads, there's BlogHer Ads, there's like a ton of different ad networks, and some of them pay more than others, so you can kind of look around. Some of them you have to apply for. Federated Media, I think, is one of them that at least I applied for them several years ago, and I was not accepted. And but then later I was, and it ended up not being a good fit, and it didn't work out. But don't feel bad if you get turned down by an ad network. In my case, it ended up being the best thing because I realized that an ad network did not work for me. And what did work for me was to sell my ads directly to advertisers. It takes more time. If you have an ad network, all you do is you just put up a widget and they just automatically feed those ads to your blog. So you don't have to think about it, and they give you a check at the end, and you get like a small percentage of whatever it is that they got from whatever the campaign it was. It sometimes doesn't work at all because sometimes they just run out of ads really quickly or something like that. So that can be an issue. I personally do flat rate ads because I don't like to do the whole calculation on CPM or CPC or PCP or whatever. I don't know what it's called. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the way that I do it. And if you want to look up other options, there's lots of stuff that you can look up online that's going to give you lots of different options. For me personally, what I did was I first created a media kit. A media kit is something that you really do need to have. It is basically your bio. And when I say it's your bio, I mean it's your full-on total brag book of like, hi, my name is Jenny Lawson, and I get millions of visitors a month, and I'm the Queen of Spain. I do this and that, and I don't know. Like, you just say stuff. Every award you've ever won, you put it up there. You do your you figure out what your page views are. You figure out who's actually coming to your blog. You can use Alexa to give you your demographics. You can use Google Analytics to give you your page views. You can use Webalizer. There's lots of different options that you can use. The thing that I would say, though, is to pick one and stick with it. I started with Google Analytics, which I think is pretty accurate. However, it only gives me about half of the page views that Webalizer says is correct, and I don't know which one is the most accurate. So instead, I just stick with Google Analytics, even though it's on the lower end of the spectrum, just because that's what I've always done and it seems fair. Let's see. Don't be afraid to advertise. Advertising is a really good way for your blog to look professional. Just put up a little graphic on your sidebar that says your ad here, and pick an amount of money. Maybe it's only $10 a month. Maybe you do something that's super cheap, just so that people can say, oh, this is really working for me. And then maybe you measure it and you see how many people are going to actually hit their site, and you say, okay, well, this month I'm raising that ad. If you want to keep it again, it's $20 a month. Or maybe you say, okay, it didn't work. Maybe I only charge $5 a month. It really depends on your particular audience, and it also depends on the person that, are they getting what they really want back. Some people want to advertise because they want their company just to get that Google juice, that they just want that link back sort of thing. Some people want to advertise because they want people to actually go to wherever their site is. So different people are going to want different things. For me personally, and I know some people don't talk about money, but I don't have a problem with it. My rates change based on what my traffic is. Right now, I get several million page views a month according to Google Analytics, and as long as it stays above 2 million page views a month, then for the most part, my advertisements range anywhere from $75 a month to $750 a month, just depending on, is it a text ad, is it a graphic ad, where is it placed. Also, just for me personally, because I am a blogger and I know how hard it is to struggle to be a blogger, I give discounts to other bloggers, which is why if you look on my sidebar, most of my advertisers are bloggers, which is great because they support me no matter what, and they never get mad at what I write about, and they never say, oh, we're pulling our campaign because we can't be associated with you, because they're awesome and they really don't care because they liked my blog before. Let's see. When it comes to advertising, you are going to have the ability to pick and choose kind of who you choose to advertise and who you don't. You want to make sure that is said on your media kit, which, by the way, I think I forgot to finish that up. Your media kit, it has your bio, it has everything that is going to convince a company why they need to sell, and why they need to, your media kit has your bio, which convinces a company everything that they need to know about buying an ad on your site. It's something that you want it's something that you would feel comfortable with the vice president of a company looking at it and saying, oh, I see why we're paying them this amount of money. And then down at the bottom of it, it should have examples of, here are the different types of ads that we have available, and here are the price ranges. You probably also want to put something in there about how we reserve the right to, kind of pick and choose or to decline an advertiser. Reasons why you would decline an advertiser if they're doing something illegal. A lot of times you'll get some really sketchy sort of things where you can kind of tell that it's either illegal gambling, or maybe it's just in some way illegal. Just stay away from them. Also, if you're doing anything that is in any way sexual on your ads, you should be careful because it can help to get you banned on Google. Also, you want to be careful that if, say, you have a text ad and it says, check out these toys, and people think that they're, kid toys, and then they click on it and it's a picture of a woman with gigantic, pendulous, naked breasts, they're probably going to get fired if they look at that at work. So you want to make sure that people know right up front. If you look at my blog right now, my top ad says something like, I get paid to look at clown porn. So it's pretty obvious that if you're going to go to this site, you might see something a little bit, so there's no nudity, but still, I'm I'm pretty upfront with the fact that this is what it is. Sorry. YouTube. YouTube has ads, and that's also a great way to make money. If I'm using them, then they should be right here, and I don't even know how to use them, so I am just a terrible person to even talk about this. Let's see. You can also uh, use an Amazon affiliate link is a good thing. I think Barnes & Noble maybe has them. There are several different places that whenever you talk about something that you're linking to, if you just put that little referral link in there and people go in and they read it, then you're going to get some advertising money out of it. And maybe it's just pennies, but still, it adds up. Another thing that you can do is when people send you pitches and say, we think that your readers would be really interested in whatever, respond to them and just say, thanks, but I only do paid ads. Here's a copy of my rate sheet. A lot of times you will get a response back from people who will say, oh, okay, we're interested in your rates, or we're interested in putting an ad in your thing. At the very least, what they'll say is, oh, okay, we'll remove you from our list, which is awesome because you really don't want to get bothered all the time with pitches that aren't going to pay you. There are also a lot of different ways that you can make money through creating merchandise on your website. Through Cafe Press, I use Zazzle personally. There's lots of different websites out there that you can use. And then finally, the last way, and the way that personally I make most of, oh, wait, hold on. There was one other one. Okay, so then the other one is you can do ads inside of your blog. A lot of people do sponsored posts. A lot of people do sponsored posts, and you want to be really careful with those. I do them in the way that I'll write a weekly wrap up, and then at the end it'll just say sponsored by, and it'll just be somebody that has nothing to do with anything at all. And so it isn't truly a sponsored post, although I kind of say that it is. There's also another way that people do it where they write basically a commercial, and then at the end it says this post was sponsored by blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times people get really pissed off at those. I don't particularly enjoy them, and I try to avoid them whenever I can. Sorry, if you're hearing purring noises, it's my kitty Posey. He's very loud in his purring. But if you do sponsored posts, you want to make sure that you're giving your audience the heads up that it's a sponsored post so they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of. And you want to make sure that you're giving them the most bang for the buck. So make sure that there's a reason why they would want to actually read it. And then finally, the last thing that you can do is what I do, how I make most of my money, and that's go outside and look for freelance work. I write for a lot of different websites, and some of them pay me by post, and some of them pay me by month, and some of them you don't even know that I write for because I do them as a, ghost penned or whatever. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. There are lots of websites out there. Some of them are willing to pay to have new people on board and to bring a new insight. My advice to you on that, however, would be don't give away your work for free. I do occasionally, but if anybody says to me, oh, well, I'm going to pay you in publicity, that's a big old bunch of bullshit. If you're going to give your work away for free, do it because you want to give your work away for free because you enjoy whoever it is that you're working with, or you like them, or you want to work with them, but you hardly ever get anything back with the whole oh, we're doing it for publicity BS. It's almost never worth it if you're doing it for publicity. Your time and your work is worth money. Even if it's just $5 a post, it's worth that $5 a post. Don't sell yourself short. And I guess that's it.